live. Alright guys, so this little thing right here, I will show you a close-up in a bit, but this is a little crested gecko and mossy prehensile tail gecko hybrid. Yes, a hybrid is it's basically an offspring of two different species of geckos. Another example of a hybrid would be like a liger, you know, a lion and a tiger. They get together, they mate, and then you have a liger. Well, this is the gecko version of that. This little guy, he is, like I said, a crested gecko and a Chahoua hybrid. The cool thing about these guys is that they're very, very chill. I mean, as you can see, he's not even like freaking out or anything. He does have some like weird coloration and pattern. He fires down to like a olive green and like brownish color, and when he fires up, he gets to a really bright orange, which is really, really neat. Yeah, so let's take a closer look at this guy. I know the lighting in here is not the best, but you could see, you know, like how nice this thing is, and it's just very bizarre looking. In a second, I will show you guys both a crested gecko and a Chahoua. For those of you that, you know, are not sure what either of those look like, so you guys can get an idea. But this is a crested gecko and a mossy prehensile tail gecko hybrid. So these guys, you basically keep them exactly the same as you would keep, you know, a crested gecko or a mossy prehensile tail gecko. These guys, from what I've heard, about like 95% of them end up turning male. There's very rarely will somebody produce a female. They usually get around like the size of a Chahoua, not too big, maybe like in the 60 grams from what I've, you know, heard. This is my first hybrid ever, so I guess I'm just gonna have to learn as I go also, but from what I know, they do get a little bit bigger than crested geckos. They're pretty chill, like a, you know, like a Chahoua would be, and I mean, just a super cool coloration. I wish he was fired up right now, but he decides to not fire up when we're gonna do YouTube live. But yeah, I mean, you keep them exactly the same. They're big insect hunters. You'll eat the crested gecko diet, you know, the Pangea or the Rapashi. These guys, they do. So obviously a Chahoua or a mossy prehensile tail gecko is a very, very expensive animal. So if you have questions, just ask.
They asked if it's sterile.
Okay, so
and if they're common.
I don't know 100%. I'm not 100% sure, but some people have told me that hybrids can breed and produce babies as well. And then I've also heard that they can't. But I'm pretty sure that these in specific, like, you know, the crested and Chahoua hybrids, they can breed. You know, like this one can breed to a crested or to another Chahoua, and then they would make like 75% crested or Chahoua. But so it's important when somebody keeps one of these animals, it's really, really important that you're responsible with it. They do have a high price, so that, you know, weeds out the newer people who are just don't really care about the species.
Someone has a gecko that's 7 months old and only 2.2 grams, and they.
What do you? All right. So let me talk a little bit about this gecko first, and then I'm gonna answer all your questions. But basically, if it's 2.2 grams at 7 months old, are you feeding insects? What are you feeding? The temperatures? Is it too cold? We'll get to that, but just make sure that you're feeding both crickets and the Rapashi or the Pangea, and your temperatures are around 78 degrees. But yeah, that's small for 7 months old. But like I was saying, for somebody who's gonna own a gecko like this, you do have to be responsible, and you know, you don't want to have people starting to breed these with crested geckos and then get a crested looking like gecko and then sell it as a normal crested gecko, and then it's gonna mess up the gene pool. So for the people who do get these kind of animals, the hybrids, you know, they're a little bit taboo. Not everybody likes them, not everybody agrees with breeding them or keeping them. But I think if you're responsible, then, you know, I mean, you could keep them, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, like I said, these guys, it's a product from a Crested and a Chahoua. The Chahoua are very expensive, so it's a big risk.
How much would one cost, and where would you find one?
That is none of your business. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I don't know where you would find one. This was given to me by a friend of mine, and they probably cost like $600, $750.
And how much do eyelash crested geckos go for? Anyone?
Eyelash crested geckos. An eyelash crested gecko is the same thing as a crested gecko or a New Caledonian eyelash gecko, whatever, same thing. They could start around like $50 and go up from there. We actually have a special right now that's $40 for a frog butt crested gecko. That means it doesn't have its tail. Still a perfectly fine and healthy gecko. Just I got a couple frog butts that I'm gonna get rid of, so I thought I would give you guys a cool sale. Any more questions?
No.
Okay. So, like I was saying before you guys rudely interrupted me, if you have a Chahoua can be a very territorial animal. So I personally don't recommend putting mixing species unless you're very experienced and you know exactly what you're doing. But a Chahoua can be very territorial and actually kill your crested or your gargoyle geckos. True story. One time I had I still have my male Chahoua, and then I bought a female Chahoua. Just to give you an estimate of what her price was, she's worth about she was worth about $1,000. I paired them up overnight. Left them. They were looking good together. And next thing you know, the next night, I wake up, I go look at the cage, and she's very, very weak. So I pick her up, I separate her, but she didn't make it past that. That's like $1,000 animal that have to passed away because they didn't get along. They're very territorial and they can really put a beating on each other. So Chahuas, you gotta be careful when you're trying to breed them, especially if you're gonna put them with something smaller like a crested gecko. But I don't recommend that unless you know what the heck you're doing. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right, there you go. Sorry.
The person that had said about that their gecko was underweight.
Yeah.
That they said that they feed them Pangea watermelon and it refuses to eat crickets, and they've tried everything, and they have 6 cresties, 1 bearded dragon, and 4 leopard geckos.
Okay. Sometimes what happens is that you see how chill this guy is. But anyways, sometimes what happens is that babies won't, they just don't want to eat insects. And if, sometimes the females can lay really small eggs at the end of the season. And those eggs can hatch, but the babies tend to be a little bit smaller and weaker. So maybe you got one of those babies. It's still fine. It should still grow up to be, a healthy adult. It will take a little bit more time, but, the animal should be healthy. But what I do recommend is there's a little trick to getting your crested geckos or your gargoyle geckos eat insects if they're not really an insect eater. I want to show you guys that trick right now, actually. I was going to make a good YouTube video on that, but if somebody's asking, why not, kill 300 birds with 1 stone and answer all your questions and, help all you people. All right, so, let me get a roach. Roach and crickets, they'll work the same way. So, let me get my tweezers. Where are the little tongs?
I think they should be on the there,
Here?
right? That's where I always put them.
Alright, yeah, well, they're not here. It's okay.
Oh.
So what you do, guys, you get your little cricket, okay? Your little cricket or your little roach or whatever or worm or whatever you're going to feed. And if you look closely to this little roach, you take off his head. Yes, I'm a psycho. You rip his head off like this. Boom. You see all that juice? That nasty cockroach juice? You put that right in front of the gecko's face like this. Then you pull away, and for some reason that juice triggers something in the gecko to want to eat it. Yeah, this thing is throbbing. Let me feed it to something.
Feed it to the bearded.
Yeah. This thing's so tiny though. He's like, what are you doing? I don't want to eat that. Alright, so you rip off the cricket or the roach's head, and you put it, very gently, you put it by the mouth of the gecko, and then pull away slowly. Sometimes you'll see that like little look in their eyes where they kind of lock in on it and focus, and then they go for it and they eat it. Try that. If that doesn't work, I also recommend trying like the Rapashi grub pie. I think I have some right here. Right here. Rapashi grub pie. You know what? Yeah. So try feeding the Rapashi grub pie. You could mix it in with the Rapashi or the Pangea diet, but you could also mix it with boiling water, and then you let it cool down, and it makes like a gelatin type substance that you could wiggle in front of the geckos, and some go nuts for it. So you could try that too. But yeah, those are like the two best options I would recommend. Crested geckos and gargoyle geckos, sometimes they could be a little bit picky when it comes to eating insects, but those are some good tricks that I've gotten a lot of picky geckos to eat.
Someone asked how many reptiles you have in total.
Let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm just kidding. Probably like 300. No, not 300. Like 200 or something. 200 and something.
Okay. And someone asked, when can I breed my crested geckos?
When can you breed your crested geckos? So let me show you when you could breed your crested geckos. If you're even thinking about breeding your crested geckos, then you're going to need a scale. And don't be like me and be disorganized and don't know what your scale is.
Oh, I think it's behind me, actually.
Okay, there you go.
Here we go.
So, you're going to need a little gram scale, just like this, okay? When your female, you're going to know your female is ready to breed when she's about 45 grams, okay? So I'm going to take out a female and breed her, and weigh her.
Right here, right now.
Yeah, right here, right now. We're going to make a human crested gecko hybrid.
Ah!
Okay. So, I'm going to take out a female so you can see, and weigh her so you guys can see, the weight of a female before she breeds. This is Cream. She's a proven breeder. She's been breeding for many, many years. She's tailless. So if the animal's tailless, you could probably get away with having like a 40-gram gecko. So I put this so she's she's gonna cling on to this. She's not gonna if I put her here, she's probably gonna walk away. If I put her here, she'll just perch right there. She's 51 grams, okay? So that's a perfect size. Anything above 45 grams for a female is perfectly fine to breed, okay? If she doesn't have a tail, maybe like 40 grams. For a male, you can breed them as small as like 30 grams. You just have to make sure that the female's not going to bully him, because sometimes females could do that to you, people. But anyways,
oh my God.
Yeah, this guy's pretty big too. He's 56, and this is Stripes, by the way. Not fired up. I'm making a mess. But this is Stripes. These are nice. This is what I was calling my cookies and cream pinstripes. Cookies and cream because he's a darkened cream. He'll fire up really dark brown on the sides. Obviously he has that high cream laterals and back. He has some dots, and who doesn't love cookies and cream? Chocolates and cookies and cream milkshakes. So
Someone asked where Manny is.
Manny's at home sleeping like a bum.
Is it possible to crossbreed a gargoyle and a crested?
You know what? I get asked that question every single week. I've never seen it. I've heard rumors of somebody doing it, but most of the time that's bullcrap. So I've never seen it. I don't think it's possible. I mean, I don't want to say I don't think it's possible, but no, I don't think anybody's done it yet. All I know is the Chahoua. People have done Chahoua, crested hybrids, and Saracenorum and crested hybrids. That's all I know of right now.
Someone asked, my crested gecko is about 7 months old and she is really bitey. Do you know how to make her less bitey?
Yeah, so crested geckos will get into the stage where they want to bite at everything they see. Let's see what's in here. So this is a juvenile, so it's probably on that same stage. I want to show you guys. Well, he's a little bit bigger. He's like a little sub-adult. But Well, he's not gonna bite me now. But sometimes when they're around this size, they're so cricket hungry. They're so like you know, like their body is asking for so much protein that they'll anything that moves they'll like bite first and ask questions later. You know, like anything that moves they're gonna jump at with their mouth open and hope it's a cricket. So during that time, I like to feed heavy insects or like the Rapashi grub pie, something high protein, because it's gonna get them growing a lot faster and a lot bigger. But check this guy out. This is a white wall tricolor crested gecko. This is a male. He's one of my holdbacks from last year, and this lighting sucks, but you guys have to deal with it. Sorry. So the white wall is, in my opinion, like the next best thing after the lily whites. Like white wall, white out, all that to me is the same. It's just a really thick cream pattern on the sides, cream almost white. As you can see, this guy has some like splashes of cream in the laterals and on the back. You could see that as well. Just a gorgeous looking animal. But yeah, he was in that cricket stage for quite some time, and that just gets him growing that much quicker.
Okay.
Guys, what's your question?
Someone had asked, why do you have huge holes in the side of your bins?
Huge holes in this like this? Because geckos need ventilation, okay? If I were to grab I actually have a bin without a hole. Okay. That's a really good question. Let me show you guys. Because I've been wanting to tell you guys this. So, you see this bin over here? Forgive it, it's dirty. We're cleaning today. But, you see how many holes it has? It has almost no holes. None on the top, none on the sides, okay? This is not good ventilation. You could keep a gecko in something like this, but you got to be very careful, especially when you're misting. You're not going to mist every single day on this. Not even once every 2 days, because that's going to keep the humidity too high, and it's going to, it's going to get it too wet. It's going to create more bacteria, and it could cause respiratory problems. So you don't want to, you want to have some airflow. Airflow is always good. Think about it. I mean, it's common sense. What living thing doesn't need airflow? So I like to make a big hole on top. This also makes it easier when I'm going around and just misting the cages. I missed here, I missed here, I missed there. So it doesn't, I don't have to open every single lid when I have to mist. But it makes it easier for misting, and it's very good for ventilation because it's not going to stay wet in there this whole, for days. I missed this thing, and, in about a day or two, it's going to, be dry again. You want that. You don't want it to be wet this whole time. It's not a frog. It's not an amphibian, You want to make sure that the humidity is high, but it's not wet. That's a big difference, guys. Humidity should be, 60 to 85%.
Do you have an email so I can send pictures so you can tell me the morphs of my geckos?
Yes, of course. My email is tikisgeckos@live.com. You can also message me through Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, everything. And I don't really answer too many of the YouTube comments. I'm more on the other social medias because some people in YouTube are jerks, man.
Have your blue tongues had babies yet?
Not yet, but they're about to pop. And they're not mine, they're Manny's. But yeah, they're about to pop. Those things are looking fat and delicious.
How long does it take you to feed all your reptiles?
All my reptiles? Well, I do it in groups. Like sometimes I'll do the babies. Then one night I'll do all the adults. Then during the day I'll do the bearded dragons, the chameleon, the abronia. So I would say let's say I was doing everything in one day. I would say 4 or 5 hours.
Did you ever have adults that would not mate? I have 2 that seem uninterested. The male is proven.
How long have you had them together? I've had pairs that didn't want to mate with each other, but when I put them with other animals, they did mate. But how long have you had them? Sometimes virgin females or virgin males, they take a long time to produce.
Whoa.
I just put them together and forget about it. What's up?
Waiting for them to answer, but Well, while we're waiting, can we see some babies and other juveniles that you're gonna hold back?
Ooh, yeah, of course you can. Come here. Actually, you can't because... Alright, my phone is charging, so she has to stay right there. I'll be right back. So you want to see babies?
And juveniles that are being held
let's start
back.
off with the babies. Ooh, you guys are in for a treat. Crested geckos first, right? Alright, crested geckos first.
Sure.
Hold on. What else? Alright, I'll show you some. I'll show you these two babies, and then I'll show you some of the bigger ones. So these two are white out, or white wall, whatever the hell you want to call them. Oh, okay. Hold on. I remember what I'm going to show you guys now. Okay, so these two are little white wall pinstripes. I know you can't see them very good here, but try to get the sides on that thing. Get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
The sides are solid white. Okay, this when it grows up, I have a couple of these already, and some that are bigger, about almost ready to breed, that I'll show you in a second. But these are some of the ones I'm most excited about. Just imagine this thing with a lily white. It's gonna make crazy looking geckos. But you know, really, really solid. What's it called? Laterals, just like solid cream and solid white. Does it look good on the camera?
Yeah, I can kind of see it.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. So let me show you. These are from Omega. Let me show you some from another female. This is Omega and Cinnabon. Let me show you some from another female. You guys know I love pinstripes, so yeah, this one. Oh crap. These two are other high white geckos. Right now I have like, I love the high white stuff. They look like
hold
much
on.
now.
It stopped and now it's going live again.
Okay. Are we live again?
Yeah, you're live again
I
now.
lost you guys. I'm sorry. All right. So this one, these are high white little babies. They were little babies. All right. Let me get them. Hold on. Okay. Little high white little baby pinstripes. These guys are going to blow up in white as they get older. They're from Mocha. And one of the geckos that was named in an Instagram contest, it was Dixie the Twisted Pixie. That's a female. Alright, hold on. Now I'm going to show you some of my gargoyle holdbacks that I'm really excited about. Hang in there, guys. Okay. Let me put this down here. How's my battery? Maybe you could get off the thing now.
Let me see. 15%.
Alright, stay on there. Okay, so look. Check out this red striped gargoyle gecko. This is one that I produced. This is an animal that I've been trying to produce for a long time. As you can see, it's a full red stripe all the way to the tail tip. And it has red laterals. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 red stripe gargoyle gecko. See the laterals there? It's probably easier to tell on a gecko that's not fired up because you see the contrast. But he has, red on his laterals, full red stripes on his back, and just a gorgeous looking animal. Can't wait for this thing to grow up and develop fully. So this is one of them. I'll show you another one that's very similar.
While you're getting that, can you answer, are you releasing geckos to Europe?
Yeah, we could ship to Europe, to the Ham show. We could ship to Ham in Germany, but it's a little costly. Just message me or email me, and we could take care of that. So this is another one of those 6 red stripe gargoyle geckos. This one wasn't produced by me. This one was produced by Steve Cimelli, or Cimelli, however you say it. But You could see it a little bit better on this guy because, you know, he's not fired up right now. But the red stripe, the red lateral stripe, full red lateral stripe, you know, red all the way down to the tail tip, 4 solid red dorsal stripes. And here's the other side of the gecko. Just awesome, awesome looking animals. And when these things grow up, man, they're just special, very special. So those are some of the babies. I showed you 4 cresteds and 2 gargoyles. Now let me show you some weird stuff. Let me put these back. Oh, and real quick, look, this is how we keep the gargoyle geckos or the crested gecko babies. Some egg crates or cork bark, some fake plants, and that's it. You don't need to get all high tech with these things. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Yeah.
I really love crested geckos and gargoyle geckos. Can you say hi to me in Spanish? I think you speak Spanish. Ahaha, I'm from Spain, bro. These pit exotics.
Hola, pit exotics. Sí, yo hablo español. Yo soy de Venezuela. Hablo español y yo tengo un gran amigo mío en España. Entonces, saludos por allá. Okay, so check this out. Remember that white wall? She's a little skittish. Remember that white wall baby I showed you? This is what that's going to turn out to be. Okay? That first holdback I showed you, they're going to turn out like this. This female's probably like 30, 35 grams. And she should be ready to breed soon. But you see the dorsal, not the dorsal, the lateral markings on her. Just full, you know, white wall sides. This is one of my favorite holdbacks of all time. I just love pinstripes, guys. So imagine putting this stuff that already looks kind of like a lily white. Imagine putting this with a lily white. It's going to make crazy looking geckos.
When will you sell the Chahoua hybrid?
I'm not selling those. That's not for sale. That's a personal pet. That one's not for sale. I don't think I would be selling. I don't think I would be selling any Chahoua hybrids anytime soon. But like I said, something like that is gonna be moolah, a lot of moolah.
Yeah. And when will you sell some blue tongue skinks?
Hopefully, you know, we should be getting some in. We should be having some for sale. Hopefully, in like 3-4 months. Okay, 3-4 months, maybe even sooner. I just don't know when they're gonna pop. Excuse me.
Someone asked if geckos escape out of the holes on the sides of the bins.
No, they don't. Actually, that did happen the other day. That's funny you say that. It hasn't happened to me in years, and then it happened the other day. Well, it's because I put like really like freshly hatched hatchlings in this bin with bigger holes. I just didn't pay attention. I did that, but yeah, that usually doesn't happen.
How do you get the humidity high in a non-humid environment?
You mist. You provide a water bowl, or you mist. You know, you could do a lot of things. You could provide a one of those
Humidifiers?
Humidifiers. There you go. Alright, check this out. This is one of the lily whites. This is one of my males. He's obviously not fired up, not looking very impressive right now, but still a gorgeous looking animal. This is, if you guys saw the brand new Tiki's Geckos videos that we released today, he's actually on it. Manny wanted to name him Prestige, but I don't know if I should name him Prestige. So I was asking you guys, what do you guys think? What should I name this guy? He's like a tricolor. When he fires up, he has like really bright orange markings, and then obviously the white, and then cream on his back. Really cool. Lily white crested gecko. So what do you guys... First of all, if you didn't see that video, stop watching this right now and go watch that video. That took me like 8 hours to make. But yeah, this guy's on there. I mean, look at that thing. This thing is a thing of beauty, and I hate this lighting, but I'm sorry. It's all I have right now. Any other questions?
Someone asked your opinions on Trump, and then someone else said to keep politics out of it, so I guess you can decide.
Hey, I don't care about Trump. I don't care about Hillary Clinton. I don't care about Bernie Sanders. All I care about is my family. I mean, I don't want to say I don't care about it, but hey, that's beyond my control. Okay, so there's not that much I could do about it. I'm just gonna keep doing me. All right, next question.
What's the growth rate like around how big should they be at 5 months or so?
It just depends on what you feed them and your temperatures. Let's say optimal temperatures like 78 degrees. You know, if you keep your geckos at 78 degrees and you feed them every single day, you have like Rapashi or Pangea in there, and you feed insects every single week. In 5 months, 5 months, right?
5 months?
All right.
Yeah, 5 months. Sorry, yeah, 5 months.
In 5 months, it should be around like, I don't know, like 5 grams or something.
Okay.
I'm the so-called gecko expert, as you can see.
Okay.
It depends. It varies. I honestly, like, a lot of people freak out about that. I just do the right thing, taking care of the animals properly and everything, and like that stuff that's beyond my control. If a gecko's gonna eat like how it's supposed to, or if it's gonna be a good eater or a bad eater, I don't worry about that. I just do what I'm supposed to. You know, take care of them, feed them, and then they grow on their own.
Someone said they just rescued 4 leopard geckos, and they're all super skinny, and one has a bent tail. So they're asking for tips. They have been eating, but any more tips?
Just make sure you make sure if you have other reptiles, be very, very careful. Don't mix. You know, make sure they're like in a separate room or a separate rack or something. That, you know, if they have some sort of disease, they're not gonna transfer them over to your other reptiles. That's first things first. After that, I just keep them warm. You know, keep them like you're supposed to. Keep them sanitary. You know, keep them clean. And just keep feeding them. I mean, sometimes it could be that they're sick or that people just weren't feeding them correctly.
I'm getting another crested gecko in June. I want to house my gecko right now, and now with the one I'm getting soon. How do I do it successfully? They would be in a 30-gallon tank, by the way.
Okay, so, I mean, technically, like, if you want to be a goody-goody, you're supposed to quarantine the geckos first, you know, make sure they're doing all right. So if it is sick, if the new gecko is sick, it's not going to get your previous gecko sick. So the breeder side of me tells you to quarantine the gecko, you know, for a little bit. Make sure they're the same size, you know, around the same size before you put them together. And obviously, if it's 2 males, you don't want to put them together. If it's a male and a female, make sure they're breeding size, because they are going to breed. Like, male and female are going to breed. And if they're 2 females, you can house them together as long as they're the same size. So make sure they're the same size. A 30-gallon tank is big enough. You know, just have enough hides in there, have enough food, and you should be fine.
Someone asked, how can you tell how old a gecko is if you bought it from someone who doesn't know the age?
You can't. How big is it? I mean, you could have an idea, like if it's a baby, you could say, okay, this thing is no more than like 3 or 4 months old or 5 months old. If it's an adult, yeah, you're really not gonna know. I mean, geckos can live, you know, 10 to 20 years, so they're long lived, but there's no really way of telling. A couple more questions and then we gotta go.
Proper egg incubation and care. Quick tips.
Quick tips. Okay, for crested geckos and gargoyle geckos, very simple. Get you could get some vermiculite, you could get some perlite, or you could get some super hatch. That's what I use personally. I'll show you this right now. This is, oh guys, these are the lily white eggs. Check this out. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 right now. 8 lily white eggs. How awesome. But look, so, and these are Chahoua eggs, but they're not looking too good, but I just put them there. So, don't worry about that.
Oh, okay.
All right, so this is the super hatch, okay? You get that moist, for the super hatch, you soak the super hatch in water for 5 minutes, then you squeeze all the water out, get rid of all the excess water, and then it's ready to go. You put the eggs in there and you incubate them at room temperature. Safe temperatures for
It's going
Is it
live
live again?
It's going live. Hold on, I'll tell you. You're live. Oh,
Okay.
crap.
Sorry about that. Safe temperatures for eggs are, you know, like 68 degrees to like 78 degrees. If I'm you guys, I keep it in the middle. Don't go to either extreme, you know. Keep it like at 75, 74, 76. That's the best thing you could do. Okay?
Someone asked, are you going to sell lily whites? And when will you have Cresties on your site?
So my website it's under construction. We're rebuilding the whole site. So for now, all my available geckos can be found on my Facebook page. Go to Facebook, search Tiki's Geckos, go to photos, the available 2017 album. Click on that and you're going to see all the available geckos with prices and really nice pictures.
Someone asked opinion on weed, and another one asked
On what?
Weed, and the other one asked an opinion on pancakes.
Pancakes.
That one made you
I
happier
love
than
pancakes, guys. I love pancakes. Listen, pancakes are my favorite food ever. Pancakes and donuts, just the best. I could eat that every single day if I had to. Weed, I mean, if you want to smoke weed, go ahead, do you. You know, I don't care. I don't really care. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. What do you want me to say?
Opinions on weed.
Okay, it's a drug.
Did you celebrate 420?
I didn't celebrate 420. I have smoked marijuana before. Big whoop.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, guys. I have to go now. Time is up. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I answered a lot of your questions. Next time, remember every Saturday, we're going to do a YouTube live at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And the last Saturday of every month, you're going to get a brand new episode of Tiki's Geckos. And maybe I'll get generous one of these months and I'll throw you 2 episodes. Okay? But what I could promise is that, you know. So, thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. And bye.